You just built different.
I'm just built different. You know what I mean? Built to not pay attention to the important shit, I guess.
Dude, you're going to be impressed by this. You know who else is built different?
Who?
Mike Tyson.
Oh my God.
That was a good segue. Come on, bro. Such a good segue.
Oh, man. Hello. Welcome back to Time Well Meant, the podcast where we discuss the potentially disturbing implications of owning an adult toy in the Toy Story universe. If you're new to the podcast, if you're just joining us, or if you're new to the podcast, or if you're returning to us, I should say, we like to talk about a number of different things. We like to talk about the goings-ons of the internet. We like to talk about video games. We also like to talk about mental health and how that relates to us. I'm Silas, and I'm joined today, as always, by Kirby. And before I ask him a very important question, I just want to say a few words, just because of everything that's kind of happening in the world. We understand, Kirby and I are both men. We're both Americans. We understand there's a lot going on. And we just want to remind you of kind of our purpose here, what we like to do, what we want to do, the kind of goal that we've set it for ourselves to achieve. And that is to provide an escape and entertainment in a place of knowledge and growth. While we are not the best and most informative people, and we're not, the most mature sometimes, and we're not the most, we're not shining examples of society or anything like that. We definitely have we've made our mistakes, and we've, fucked up here and there, and we're not perfect by any means. But we do have a voice that we both want to be heard. And a big aspect of why we do this is, one, not only because it is extremely fun. I know that for myself, we were just talking about before we started recording that, I look forward to this, every other week, sitting down with one of my closest friends and, getting to shoot the shit for an hour and a half. Not only that, but the potential to, grow as a duo, being Time Well Meant, and the ability to reach out and possibly influence people in a positive manner, which is something that means a lot to me. I know that growing up, I had very solid influences. I had a really good support system, and I had things in my life that helped me become who I am today. And that to me is very important. And I think that in today's society, we often overlook those sorts of things. I think, especially for young men, it's a lot harder to have something positive to look for when everything that is being shown that's positive ends up having something negative attached to it. The example that I would give is that, you can be, a really good man, but you need to make sure that your wife is submissive, right? Like that's the sort of shit that's like super weird to me. The idea that there's like one way to live as a man, which is just not true. This idea that, we need to be domineering. You can't cry. You can't, have any weakness. You need to be a millionaire by 20. That type of shit is the type of shit that I think that Kirby and I want to preach against. We want to show you not necessarily what it is to be a man, but what it is to be a good dude, I guess, if that makes sense. I think it's honestly better to be a good dude than being what society currently dictates as being a man. And I think a lot more people would appreciate that. But yeah, beyond that, it's more just so, again, I know that there's a lot going on. We both do. It's not something that we're going to talk about particularly, but it is something that I think we both kind of wanted to address. We're aware things are going on. This is a place for escape. This is a place for you to, take a step back from reality, take a step back from everything that is happening within your life, whether you're going through a hard time, whether times are great, whether you're, wherever you may be, whatever may be happening. This is a place for you to come here, spend about an hour with us, and just shoot the shit. With that being said, Kirby, how are you doing?
What an intro, dude. Well said. Just wrap it up now. That's a wrap, guys.
Cue the outro.
I'm doing good, man. Life's good. Yeah, I'm living the dream, That's not like white people code for not doing great. I'm actually doing pretty good. A couple things that you just said. First of all, when you started that sentence, you spoke of freedom, and I just need you to go back and edit it in like an eagle screeching right there for America.
Yeah.
Secondly, I totally agree. I think being a good dude, that's the way to go. And that's all inclusive. Every man, woman, child, and any other thing that might exist. You can be a good dude.
Yeah.
That's
good. Listen,
you're all invited.
Good Burger said it best. I'm a dude. She's a dude. We're all dudes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ah, so good. Man, yeah. It's I don't know. It's just one of those things. Fuck, man. I'm gonna say it again because I say it every week, or every other week. It's been 2 weeks since we've been here. There's a lot that's happened. A lot that goes on in our lives. A lot that happens in the world. Like I said, there's some stuff we're not gonna talk about it. It is what it is, and we're here.
It's not that I necessarily don't want to talk about it or that I don't have an opinion. It's just like you said, our show, man, we've said this since episode 1. Okay, actually since episode 2. I don't think we ever actually released episode 1. We're just here to give you a giggle. That's the point. I hope somebody somewhere listens to this and has a chuckle, and maybe, just maybe, you hear something that we touch on in the mental health sphere that does help you in some way.
Yeah.
If those two things happen to one person listening to the show, man, I'm solid. I'm gold.
Yeah. We've accomplished our goals. Being a bit goofy while also being a bit thoughtful is kind of the aim of the game for us, I think. And it's just one of those things, man, where I don't know. I've been very introspective the past couple of weeks. I think when big and impactful events happen, that it sort of makes me kind of take a step back. But I mean, even more than that, like, I think a lot of it comes from just like every time I take a shower. I should say, okay, I need to rephrase that. Anytime I take a shower where I'm washing my hair, because if I take a normal shower, I'm taking like 5 minutes, right? But if I have really long hair, so it takes me a while to wash my hair. And usually those are the times when I'm taking those long and thoughtful showers. Those are the times where like I cook up all my best ideas. So many times I've made up, like with role play, I've made characters in the shower, just like they just, I don't know what happens. What happens with that hot water and the steam and everything, and like the whole ritual of like washing my hair and everything. But it's just something that happens, man, that just really gets the like mind juices flowing. I don't know what that is. I don't know if there's science behind that or what. But
yeah, it's scientifically proven that putting shampoo on your head gets the brain cells functioning. I am a doctor.
Just like rubbing. Oh yeah, I forget that Dr. Kirby has all the answers. I think it's maybe something like massaging your scalp is like
no,
you're like reaching
the
deep.
shampoo.
No?
You don't even have to massage it. You could just kind of like pour the bottle on your head and your mind just starts going.
The train's chugging along. So don't just take a full bottle.
We're gonna get angry comments. I got shampoo in my eyes. Fuck this show.
It show sucks. Oh my god, this bad husband.
Yep, bad husband, bad doctor. You know me.
Bad husband, bad doctor. Damn, that's got to be a sitcom somewhere in the works. Bad husband, bad doctor. Like,
It made me think of Bad Santa when I said it.
Yeah. Or like Bad Teacher. There's been a lot of like movies of just teacher, like bad and then whatever. Yeah. God,
is there Bad Doctor? Could I be the Bad Doctor?
You could be the Bad Doctor. I feel like there's Warner Brothers. Get on it. Next sponsor. Hey, Warner Brothers.
I'm actually worried when I said that the Bad Doctor, that's probably already like an adult film.
You're oh yeah, shit.
Yeah. Well, there's actually probably already like 14 of them.
Bad Doctor 22, the cardiac breast.
Oh, that was good right off the top of the head, man. That was good.
I'm not even in the shower, man. What's going on? I'm thinking of all kinds of crazy
on your head?
shit.
Let me see your head.
My hair is, it's funny enough. I washed my hair yesterday, so.
See some residual. That's why the brain juices are flowing.
Yeah, it hasn't all dissipated. It kind of sticks with you for a little bit. Oh man, yeah, but it's been a great couple weeks, man. Lot happening for us. Upcoming, like I know that thing. I don't know. I was actually gonna ask you, and maybe I'll wait until. No, actually, you know what? I am gonna wait. I was gonna ask you what your plans are for Thanksgiving, but I'm gonna wait till we'll wait for the next episode. We are gonna have to pre-record because we will be busy when Thanksgiving is around. We're gonna spend some time with our families, I'm sure.
What's this business? I'm perfectly free on the night we'd be recording.
Are you? Yeah, true. I'm the one who's not gonna be there. It wouldn't really be. I don't think I could record from my girlfriend's aunt's place. That's where we'll be staying.
Not bad attitude.
Wait,
could your girlfriend's aunt be our first guest?
That would be actually fucking. She's actually really awesome. I actually really like my girlfriend's aunt. She reminds me a lot of my mom. She's just kind of a wacky lady. I love her to death. She's cool as fuck. But no, I don't think that she'd want to be. I don't know if she. Well, maybe. But anyways, it's just I'm like thinking about it now. Like, what would that be like? Because I feel like it wouldn't just be her. I'd probably force my girlfriend as well, and that would just be it would.
Well, at that point, I need to come up there, and we'll just have it all in one room. Thanksgiving time well meant.
Oh god, Thanksgiving special. But then the other thing too is I wouldn't be able to edit in time and fucking as all. There's too many logistics to it. So
Man,
yeah, it is. It is.
sounds
What
like
it
somebody who
is.
doesn't want it.
That's true. That's true. I not yet. Not yet. Maybe someday in the future we'll make a road trip to up there and get it done. But not yet. Not yet. Man, what else has been going on? You want to talk about what you've been playing? I know I've been playing some fucking Sparking Zero.
Oh yeah, how is it?
Oh man, it's fun. It's hard. It's hard as shit. Funnily enough, our buddy Charlie actually has it as well, and he messaged me and was talking about how hard it was, and I was like, yeah, it fucking is. It's so. The thing about it is, man, is it's like the only thing I have only one critique of this game, because beyond that it is amazing. The only critique that I have is that whenever you do like a big ultimate attack, it doesn't destroy the planets like it did when you were playing the original the original like Budokais.
Mm-hmm.
That was one thing that I really appreciated. Like that, like, you know, if you're playing Vegeta and you do Final Flash, it's gonna, like, you know, destroy the whole world. Or if you're doing like Death Ball with Frieza or something like that, like it's gonna, you know, if it impacts and it hits, it's gonna like blow up Namek or something like that. That doesn't happen.
Crater and stuff.
Yeah, and suddenly you're fighting on like a decimated area. You know, I mean, it's like a wasteland. The winds change. That was really cool. I think that was like Tenkaichi 2. And I think Tenkaichi and Tenkaichi 2 were the two games that happened, or maybe Tenkaichi 3, I think, as well. That was really cool. I was like, oh, that's so fucking cool. And I kind of expected that to happen with this game. And I'm not saying that they can't, you know, put that out, you know, later down the line. But as of right now, that's not something that happens. You could use the big attacks and it's like, hey, it's a cool explosion and shit. Beyond that, like the fighting is super cool. All of the mechanics are really cool. They've made it like weirdly like, there's a lot of tech involved. It used to be just like, all right, you're going to smack somebody and then, or you can like block, or like at least to me, and maybe because I was younger, it didn't feel very technical. The game felt very like, and I think it's because I was younger and just didn't appreciate. I was more just like spamming buttons and shit.
Yep.
Now I play it and I'm like, this is fun. Like this is like weirdly like, there's a lot of mechanics to it. There's a lot of like strategy to it. All the characters feel really solid. Like the one thing that's kind of that I didn't realize, because I was like, I played through it initially. I was like, and so you have like the character stories that you can play through. And I was like, man, these are kind of short. But then I realized like there's like alternate paths that you can branch off of. I didn't realize until I went back and looked.
I heard about that. And it goes into like some like alternate versions of the original story.
So to spoil one, for those of you who aren't aware of the Dragon Ball universe, I will do a little spoiling. Sorry. It's been out for like 20 fucking, you should have known. In the Cell Saga, Goku is the one who goes into the hyperbolic time chamber with Gohan, and he trains with him. They, you know, unlock the Super Saiyan transformation for Gohan. That's a whole thing, right? But in the Sparking Zero, they call it the Sparking timeline, I think is what it's called. And Sparking Zero with Piccolo on his timeline, he's the one who diverts off, and he's the one who takes Gohan into the hyperbolic time chamber and trains him and helps him unlock Super Saiyan. And it was so cool. And he's the one who like helps with like the final, like he's the one who like steps up to fight Perfect Cell first instead of Goku. It's a whole thing, man. It's really cool. So cool. It's kind of cool seeing like an alternative universe. Obviously, like it's a mix of like voice acting and like still images that have just text. But the voice acted like scenes have like the original like Chris Sabat, and I can't remember the guy who does Goku, but like it brought back a lot of the original voice actors to do the voices. And it is fucking cool, man. It's a really cool game. I really appreciate the person who got the game for me. Very, very good friend, very, very sweet and gentle and beautiful man. Kirby got it for me as a gift because he loves me.
Fuck, dude, you just said that and it just occurred to me. We've got like 6 weeks. We got to make some money on this damn podcast so that can be a tax write-off.
How are we gonna? I actually don't know how we would, unless we like streamed. But even then, I don't know how the fuck we would do that.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Let's find a really shitty sponsor to shill some money out to, or that'll shill money out to us. Yeah, sign up to sellyoursoul.com.
Sellyoursoul.com. You know what I mean? Use promo code time well meant.
Yeah, there you go.
Dude, what I've been playing recently, I think I finally waned off Satisfactory. You know, we beat it twice and then played the hell out of it some more. Yeah. I got the golden nut, and once you get the golden nut, I mean, that's it.
What are you gonna do?
So always play Rocket League. Can't stop, won't stop.
Yep.
Even though I want to sometimes. um, but the big thing there, dude, I had bought Helldivers pretty close to when it came out, Helldivers 2. And I'd only played it once or twice, and it just did not, for whatever reason, it didn't hook me the first time I played it. But over this last weekend, I had a little LAN party with my buddies because it was one of their birthdays, and we had 4 of us playing Helldivers pretty much all day Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. Dude, I am all in for democracy, for Super Earth, dude. That game rocks.
Yeah. It's, oh man. Yeah. I got into it pretty soon after it came out as well. I had some friends of mine that were playing it, and I was like, what the fuck is this game? This looks awesome. I don't know what's going on. This game looks fucking awesome. And I bought it, and I played it, and dude, it was, I was like, this is an amazing experience. This is such a wild, I think the initial launch was such an amazing experience. And it was such a breath of fresh air from everything that we had previously. And it just, it was so good. Obviously, they went through their controversies. I think we talked about
the PlayStation account.
We talked about the PlayStation accounts, and they've had some issues with balancing that the players haven't liked. They've promised some things and talked about, like, for instance, there's supposed to be a third faction that's supposed to be out by now or was coming out.
Like another enemy?
Yeah, called the Illuminate. They were supposed to be, they've continued to hint at them. And then they were supposed to be like, they hinted at bosses called Hive Lords. Yeah, so like they've hinted at a ton of shit. Obviously, they've hinted at some stuff and released some stuff. But it's just one of those things where it's like, man, what's going on? Like, are y'all working on these things, or is it going to happen? And it is. It obviously takes time and it takes progress, and they got to get the shit done. And they've continued to release, content for the game that's pretty much completely free. You don't have to pay. As soon as you buy the game once, you really don't have to pay for anything. You can literally just play the game and unlock everything. Even the in-game currency, super credits, you can get those just by playing the game.
Did you find them laying around the maps?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
Everything. And they're shared. So if you're playing with like 4 people and you pick up some super credits, your entire squad gets those super credits. It's not an individual thing. Yep.
That does make sense, though. Otherwise, people are going to be arguing, blowing each other up.
That's literally what happened in the early days when people didn't realize that those things were shared. They were like, people were killing each other to like get like, oh, there's super credits over here, and then you just get fucking nuked from orbit, and then people will like come over and fucking grab them, but they don't realize like all that shit's shared. Everything that your squad picks up is shared. The only thing that's not is like ammunition.
Right.
That's literally it. So, the game I think is built really well. I like the way that they do their kind of battle passes happening every couple of weeks, where it's all mostly cosmetics and stuff. You don't have to buy it. It's not game changing. So
you know what I appreciate about it's weird when you go in that menu and it looks like they have 10 different battle passes.
Mm-hmm.
But what I appreciate about it is when you buy those, you're not just buying specifically this group of items. You're kind of unlocking the ability to unlock them.
Yeah.
So for certain whales out there, for certain, folks who can't or have a hard time not spending money in those games like that, it doesn't even matter. You can spend the money and get the battle pass, but now you got to play the damn game to get the stuff out of it.
Yep.
I know they have a small store and you can just directly buy stuff, but there was 8 little things in there that rotates every couple days or something.
It's just armor. It's just armor that rotates. It's like
so it's just pure cosmetics.
Pure cosmetic. Well, and here's the thing: the armor itself. So the helmets have nothing to do with any sort of stats. The armor itself will have stats, but the armors can be purchased, or you could basically unlock all of the armors that will have similar stats within the battle passes. There are battle pass specific stat like bonuses for the armors. So if there's one that's based around electricity and lightning weapons, and essentially you get debuffs to lightning or buffs to lightning damage, or I'm sorry, debuffs to taking lightning damage. So if you get hit with a
big Tesla
lightning
thing.
shotgun, then you're taking only 10% of that damage rather than the full 100%. You know what I mean? It's a 90% reduction or something like that. But beyond that, for the most part, you're getting you can get anything that's available within the premium shops in just the standard game. You don't have to, obviously beyond just buying the initial game, you'll just unlock it. So, because you get your initial battle pass, that's your full set of it gets you a bunch of guns, it gets you a bunch of armor, cosmetics, all that sort of shit. And that stuff you can unlock kind of as you go along. And all that, it's like you could unlock all of that and make it through the end. Like you could play it at the highest difficulty of the game, and then unlock everything. I've unlocked at least 2 battle passes naturally. So paid for a couple just because I wanted to support the developers. I really like the game. But for the most part, I fucking love them.
I'm glad you said that. Everything aside from the PlayStation account stuff, it really does seem like they're doing a good job handling that. Kind of on the PR community side of things. And one of the reasons I was really easily persuaded to purchase Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is that I had read online that there's no, they don't intend to include like purchasable characters and stuff. They put them all in the game, and it was like, well, so that's it.
There's already they have a season pass they're doing, but a lot of that is like, I don't know if it's additional characters or like, but they already have like fucking a bajillion frillion characters. Like, it's going to take me for fucking ever to unlock all the characters.
And I find that so cool because every other game that comes out these days, you would have had 10 characters and you get to unlock the other ones for $20 a pop.
Yeah. All of the characters that you get in the base game, it's like 180 characters. Obviously some of those characters are like different versions of the same character. Like, you have like, Dragon Ball Z and Gokus. Dragon Ball GT. Yeah, there's like 15 Gokus. Fuck me. But there's like, different eras. They're like Child Goku and then like GT Child Goku and then like Super Saiyan 4 GT. It's like, you know what I mean? Like it's all the different transformations. But like it's a huge list, man. It's a huge list of characters. And you still have to unlock, like you have a bunch that are already unlocked, but there are some that you have to like play through stories or do different accomplishments to unlock those characters.
That's cool.
And that's
how it used to be.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
Did you ever play Smash Bros. Melee back on GameCube days?
Yep.
Dude, I spent so much of my time playing that, just unlocking characters. I'm like reading Nintendo Power, trying to figure out what you got to do. This obscure challenge in less time than this, so it unlocks the fight to unlock this character.
Yeah. And like doing the different
glory days.
And then getting Game and Watch and be like, well, I'm done. Here we go.
Pretty much.
So,
I want that. So when I heard that Dragon Ball came like that, and just gives you so much, and doesn't immediately have unlockable characters. Even other fighting games these days, they'll come out and immediately, you can also buy this character and this character.
Yeah, and the thing about it is too is I think that they're releasing like so you have like the battle pass, which I haven't decided if I'm going to buy or not. I probably won't, but the battle pass essentially is or I guess it's like a season pass. Sorry, not a battle pass. It's like 4 quarters. It's for all of next year. It's like a one-time purchase, and then you get all of the unlocks that they're going to release as it goes on, as well as the additional content. Because like they basically have everything up until where the show is currently, Dragon Ball Super, and then beyond that, it's going to be like the movie that just came out. I think it was called Heroes or something like that.
Wait, that came out?
There's a movie for GTA not GTA for Dragon Ball Super that came out. About I think it just got released in Japan. I don't know if it's
I was looking forward to that, so I didn't know if it had come out yet.
It's about Gohan, and I know that he has a new transformation, as Piccolo also has a new transformation. I don't know if those will be included, but I know that the villains from that movie are included in the newest or the first release of the season or whatever. And so
I haven't watched the show in forever.
Oh, dude, I stopped watching after GT, and I didn't even make it through all of GT. I only watched what was on Toonami. I watched all of Z. I watched part of the original Dragon Ball, and then I watched some of GT. I never watched any of Super. I never watched any of the movies. Like I don't give a fuck. So like that's the thing too. I don't know. I just never got around.
The movies
to
are good, dude.
Are they? Okay.
Like Battle of the Gods is good. The Broly movie's pretty good.
Yeah, and so like that's the thing too, is like those stories are within. I don't know if they actually. I don't think they did Broly. I think you play as Broly. I don't remember. I gotta look at the fucking characters. But so a lot of the stories are there within the game, but it doesn't obviously like go like super in depth. Like one of the things that I was like, man, the Saiyan saga seems so like short with like for fucking for Vegeta, it just skips it. I was like, what the fuck? But I guess he has like one fight in that whole thing, so it's kind of pointless to just like do like, hey, fight Goku once and then you move on. Anyways, and then like I don't know. I was used to like only having Dragon Ball Z and GT and not having all of this other content. So when I was like, man, they didn't cover like anything from Z, and I was like, oh yeah, because they have all this other content and shit that they need to cover.
Not just the shit that came out when we were kids.
Yeah. Now they don't, all the shit, all that shit is, yeah. So anyways, I guess I could always go back and play the old Budokai games. So then if I wanted to relive those stories and those games.
When Sparking Zero first released, I was really dying to play it, but I didn't want to pay for it just yet. So I acquired Budokai 3, I believe. Was it Tenkaichi 3?
Yeah, Tenkaichi. Yeah.
Dude, I was trying to play that so fucking hard.
Yeah. Dude, I was like, man, if Sparking Zero is this hard, I can't remember or even think about like how hard the old Tenkaichi games were. Because they were fucking hard, man. I was like, man, what the fuck is going on?
We were just super gamer kids back then.
Clearly. I don't know what was going on, man. I was because I was decent. You know, I could make it through all the story quests. I didn't really have anyone to play with except for, if I had friends that came over, but man,
but then the issue you run into there is when you have a game like that and your friends come over, you immediately smash them and they don't want to play anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That was always, or they own the game and they come over and smash you at your house. And then it's like, fuck, man, this sucks. Like, what the fuck are you so good? Go home. Get the fuck out of here. Like, yeah.
I gotta practice.
Yeah. Our friend Jesse, his brother Rick, I used to bring my PS3 over to their place all the time. And we would play Soul Calibur constantly. I think I've talked about this before. And it was just, so fun, man. And it was always so good. And he was so good, man. I remember at one point in time, I left because we were always pretty evenly matched. And then at one point I left my PS3 over at his place. And fuck, man, he got so much better than me. I was like, what the fuck happened? I used to be so good at this. Oh, shit.
Like you walk out the door and he just locks eyes on the PlayStation. That's my chance.
Yeah.
The training begins.
He knew what was up. He kicked my ass for sure.
Next time that Silas shows up.
I'm beating his ass. Yeah. Oh, man. What a fucking wild ride. Yeah, man. I just recently got back into going back to Helldivers. I just recently got back into that. It's fun, man. I've been playing that. I got back into I've been getting a little bit back into Overwatch for good reason. They're bringing 6v6 back.
They're gonna put 6v6 in Overwatch 2.
So they're doing
as the default.
No, so they're doing it as an event to test. So essentially, what's happening is that they're going to have 3 different metas. I don't know what the metas are. I'm assuming it's going to be like 1-3-2, 2-2-2, and then open queue. And essentially what that means is that it'll be 2 tank, 2 DPS, 2 support. And then the alternative would be 1 tank, 3 DPS, 2 support. And then obviously open queue is just you pick whoever you want and just fuck it. Why not? 4 tanks, 6 tanks. Who gives a shit, right? That's what I'm assuming. I don't know yet. I don't know if it's going on right now. It might already be going on. I haven't checked. I haven't played Overwatch in like a week or so. But I've been just kind of slowly getting back into it and in anticipation with that happening. Because I loved Overwatch 1. That's my baby. I put so many hours in that game. I fucking hate Overwatch 2. It's like a shell of what I used to love. And if they revert back to 6v6, I will go back and play. Like probably pretty regularly, unfortunately. Because it's, man. I say that, but. And then the other,
I remember your Overwatch period. You were a different man.
I was. It definitely it made me a little bit more toxic, I think. But it's I don't know, man. It's just something I've been getting into. That and then of course the normal fucking Deadlock. I've been playing Sparking Zero. I got the Factorio DLC, man, and I fucking haven't played it. I've just been too fucking distracted. I don't know. Well, the thing about it is I know that once I start the DLC, that's all I'm gonna play.
Yep.
Until I beat it. And it's gonna take me weeks so I'm thinking I'm gonna start it in maybe December, or like because I don't want to like play it for like a week and then like have to like leave to go fucking do shit or whatever. I don't know,
dude. You are a modern day gamer. You are planning and pre-prepping what you're gonna play, and when you're playing Overwatch in anticipation for something that will release.
Yes,
you're putting a calendar date on when you're gonna start a DLC for this.
The thing that I've kind of realized as I've gotten older is like, man. Time is very precious, and I don't want to just spend like I could sit here and grind fucking Deadlock for all day every day, But I don't want to do that. I want to fucking, I want to play some other shit. I like being diverse. I get bored very easily. I like to play a lot of different games. It's just kind of finding the time. And here's the thing too, man. It's like, I say that I'm going to do that. It could be like next year before I start playing Factorio. You know what I mean? I always tell myself there's sometimes where I'll stick to that and I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm going to play this like, starting next month or whatever. Like with Satisfactory, I was like, oh yeah, I'll play Satisfactory with y'all. And I just didn't.
Oh, I remember that.
I just didn't. I re-downloaded it and everything, man. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll hop in and play with them. And I was like, I just got distracted playing other games or doing whatever. And life got in the way. Sparking Zero definitely didn't help because I've been playing a shitload of that. And but yeah, man, I don't know what it is. I just, for some reason, I think a lot of it's ADHD. I just get super distracted and like veer off into something else. So yeah. Fucking
easily distracted, but with that hyper focus when the right thing hits.
Oh yeah. And that's kind of one of the weird things that it's something that I never really thought about until I was older. And I got like a properly diagnosed, because I didn't get diagnosed until I was an adult. But it was obviously something that like I had my whole life. I'd struggled with it my whole life. And it was one of those things, man, where, I kind of just figured like everyone's mind kind of wanders when they're like doing something boring, you know what I mean? Or if there's, whatever going on. A big thing that I think about is like when I'd be in class, when I'd be in school, and I would just be sitting there and the teacher's talking and I see her mouth moving. I don't know what the fuck she's saying. I'm just like, I'm zoning through her and like slack jawed and everything. It's funny too, because I still do it to this day. I was out thrift shopping with my girlfriend. This is like a year or so ago, but I just remember it so vividly. I was just thrift shopping with my girlfriend and like, I didn't want to be there. I had already gotten the things. I'd already basically like the store that we were in. I knew I didn't want to fucking be there. Right. And there was like SpongeBob on the TV and like, I did not give a fuck about SpongeBob, but it was more entertaining than anything else that was happening. So I hyper focused and like lasered into that. And like, she shook me. I was like, are you okay? And I was like, what? Like, and that's the type of shit.
Can't you say SpongeBob is on?
Yeah. Babe, watch SpongeBob. Come on. That for whatever reason, that's just kind of how I've always been. And I thought it was normal. That's the thing too, is like, it's always so funny is like, you think something is normal until someone tells you it's not.
Because you have no other frame of reference besides your own mind.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was, getting distracted while doing things, but at the same time, being able to hyper focus on like video games or anything that I'm really interested in. I noticed that when I worked for the railroad, when I would be like serving or something, I was really interested in that because there was a certain like art to it. Like you have to think about all the different things. Like let's say I'm like topping people up on wine. Well, you're on a fucking moving, rocking train and you have 2 bottles of like fucking wine in your hands and like you're walking around and like I always thought it was a show for me. Like that's how I like got through my day. So I would like pour the wine and like make sure like I didn't spill a fucking drop. And I like, with the exception of like twice, I didn't spill any wine, right? So I would like fill up these glasses and people were always really impressed with it. I was like, yeah, I know. It's fucking cool.
Did you like twirl and do a pirouette or?
No.
Aw,
I wasn't.
Come on, dude.
The train is rocking, dude. Like we're cruising down the fucking rails. So I was usually steadying myself. And then the idea would be that like, I was always like, hey, just don't move your glass. Cause people would always want to like lift up their glass, and, like hold it up to me. I'm like, don't do that. Just makes it harder for me because you're moving and I'm moving. That like just leave it there.
Leave it there.
Sit it down. And that was always, but that was one of those things where like it just I remember being able to be like hyper focused on that. But yeah, video games too. It's like anytime I play something that I really really like, I can just dead focus. It's one of the things that I noticed that when I was streaming, I would not pay attention to chat at all because I'd be like so like.
You have a message in your chat that's like, I'm not ignoring you. I just have ADHD or something.
I need to put that on there, man. It was one thing when I'd be like role playing and it's like, I can't really like break character, like ruin this scene to then like talk to somebody. But when I'd be playing like fucking, I don't know, whatever I was interested in playing at the time,
Overwatch.
I just get so locked in and I fucking slack jaw and like, oh man. I don't know. It's weird, but it's just part of who I am, I guess.
You just built different.
I'm just built different, you know what I mean? Built to not pay attention to the important shit, I guess.
Dude, you're going to be impressed by this. You know who else is built different?
Who?
Mike Tyson.
Oh my God.
That was a good segue. Come on, bro. It's such a good segue.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So, yeah, man, coming up 2 days after we record this and the night before this episode releases, Mike Tyson and one of the Paul guys. I can never remember which.
This is Jake. It's Jake Paul. It's the younger brother.
Okay.
Logan is the one doing the Lunchables ripoff. I shouldn't say allegedly, whatever. Fucking, he's doing Feastables, and Jake is doing the fight. He's the boxer.
Dude, I have just been like flabbergasted since this was first announced. Like, this can't be real. Why would this happen? And I mean, of course, we know why it's going to happen. It's going to make a shitload of money.
It's being broadcast on Netflix, I think. I don't even think it's pay-per-view. I think it's
yeah.
they
Dude,
sort of got to deal with Netflix.
I was really surprised by that. I am thinking how many well do you care at all about like boxing or UFC or anything?
I like the clips, and in terms of boxing, I don't follow boxing as much as I used to. I used to be a little bit more caring about fighters and kind of their storylines and like, you know, how they've kind of progressed through the ring. I usually like to look at older boxers. And
you about to look at an older boxer?
Yeah, really. And looking at highlights, looking at fights, and things like that. But, you know, I'm not super into like modern day boxing or MMA. Like I said, I'll watch a couple fights, but it's more like I'll just kind of like watch highlights or interesting fights or fighters that I'm like, yeah, you seem like a cool fighter, and like I'll watch you pummel some guy. I don't know. Like, I just want to see what's going to happen. But I wouldn't say I'm not following every fight. I'm not following every, you know, but I am somewhat knowledgeable. Yeah.
I haven't followed the UFC in many years now, but it used to be a thing in my family when I was in my teen years. Like the Iceman, Chuck Liddell, and Anderson Silva. Dude, I watched Anderson Silva's leg snap like a toothpick live on pay-per-view. So it was kind of like a family thing. Like my uncle, my dad, and all these people come over. We'd have some burgers, beers, wings, whatever, you know, and just watch somebody get the shit beat out of them. America. So it definitely interests me. This is, you know, but there's why, man? Like, if Mike Tyson loses, I'm so sad. And if Mike Tyson wins,
it's awesome. What do you mean?
That's
the only positive outcome.
But he also just like didn't prove anything that anybody didn't already know.
I mean, here's the thing: is like if Tyson wins, it's a win-win for everybody. Because there's a lot of people that just fucking hate Jake Paul. I'm one of them. I think Jake Paul's kind of a fucking scumbag. I don't think he has much in terms of redeemability.
Was he the one with the woods in Japan?
No, that's his brother. That's his brother Logan. The Paul brothers are both kind of just shitty people.
They're just a pair of shit.
Yeah,
pair of shits.
Definitely, yeah. We could have a whole episode about the Paul brothers and my distaste for them. But Jake is the one that like there's almost like a semblance of like the ability to redeem himself. Logan is the one that like for a little while he was okay. And then like he was just kind of cringe, and then he did the whole forest thing. People fucking hated him. He did the electrocuting fucking rat or whatever. That was super. Yeah, he electrocuted like a dead rat or something like that, and that was fucking really weird. It's just really weird. And then like he was like on this kind of like uptick, and then he joined the WWE, and just kind of became a fucking super like businessy corporate scumbag. With his podcast and everything, where he's just like an asshole to his friends and just fucking, it is what it is. And then his brother, on the other hand, has just like fully committed to this boxing thing. And the thing that people keep talking about is the fact that like, man, the guy just doesn't fight any real boxers. And when he does, he loses.
He lost. Yeah.
Yeah. He loses really hard. He was fighting like 40-year-old retired like MMA fighters. You know, like Ben Askren and fucking, I want to say he fought Anderson Silva as well, and like beat both of them. But it's like, what is that proving? You're beating like 40, 50-year-old guys.
Wait, when was that?
Oh,
this was Anderson Silva.
This was a couple years ago. I'm literally gonna look this up right now.
If I remember correctly, Anderson Silva snapped his leg. He did some amount of recovery, and he comes back, winning one fight. I think we watched that, and we watched him get his ass beat silly. And then at the end of that, he's like, "Thanks for tiring. See ya."
No, the Anderson Silva Jake Paul fight happened in October 29th, 2022. And I think Silva was like in his 50s at the time when this happened. Yeah.
And Jake Paul beat him.
20, yeah, because he's like 25. He's like half his
Right.
age. That's always kind of the thing that people are always like.
Anderson Silva, there was a time when he
was 47 at the time. Sorry.
There was a time, I'm going to say 2012, 13, 14-ish.
Yeah.
Dude, Anderson Silva was the king. He was beating everybody in every weight class he tried. And then his leg did a little bend the wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah. There's always those. It's always so sad to see, like, you know, athletes who have. I was just looking up. Do you remember Jeremy Lin, the basketball player?
Nope.
No, you don't remember Lin Sanity? That era of basketball. I don't know how in touch with basketball. I'm really not even that in touch.
Nothing about basketball.
Okay, that's funny. I'm also not really super informed with basketball. I've been following the WNBA a little bit lately with the whole like Caitlin Clark thing. She's really fun to watch. But then, you know, I just like checking up on names that I've heard, and one of them being Jeremy Lin. And one of the clips that I watched, because I was like, man, I don't even know what happened. He had like 2 good seasons and then just like dropped off the face of the earth. And one of the things that I found out was that, like a ways into his career, he tore his ACL and just like completely ended his career. Yeah, and it was such a like impactful thing. Like when I watched the clip, it was so like, oh man, like I can't even imagine how that feels, like that being your life, and him like coming to that realization of like, and it's so crazy because he's on camera and you can hear in the audio like him going, oh, it's over. Like he knows right then and there. Like I know exactly what just happened to me. I can feel it. It's done. I'm done. I'm not coming back onto this court. And that was the last time he played. And it's so fucking heartbreaking, and man, but at the same time, it's like, it's something like meaningful watching the journey. That's what I like about, I think, athletes, professional athletes, is watching the journey, watching like, the beginning and watching how they end it. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people that ended on a really, really high note. They end things, you know, really, really well. They end on a win. They end on, you know, that big W. And then there's a lot of people that fucking, they go out and it's just, ugh.
They won't let go.
Yeah, no. And that's always hard when someone doesn't know when to stop, you know?
You know, not that I'm ever going to be a renowned boxer or athlete or anything, but I think in that scenario, I would want to just kind of go out with grace. You know, you don't want to just, if you know anything about football, Aaron Rodgers, hang it the fuck up, dude.
Is he still playing?
Like, yes.
Oh,
and
crazy.
I just saw,
that's a name that I know. That's
I just
you know
saw this
old.
picture, and it was from his last game that he played in Green Bay, and it's like him walking off the field with a big smile on his face. And it's like, that's where you could have ended it. But now you spent the last 2 seasons fucking up in New York. Just. And he was also a big fuckhead, in my opinion, around COVID disinformation. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's like fucking Brett Favre. Brett Favre went way longer than he should have too, didn't he?
Yep.
And kind of a similar. What's happening with the Packers and producing like kind of shithead quarterbacks? Because he was kind of the same way.
He was the same way, and then he defrauded a children's charity too.
No shit. Oh my god.
Real good guy.
Episode 15, deep dive into Brett Favre.
Fuck no, I don't even want to talk about him.
Oh man, yeah. It's funny too because I didn't even really get into boxing until I watched the anime Hajime no Ippo, which is just all about boxing, and it makes references to like older boxers. You know, the main character's like main kind of finishing move is the Dempsey roll based on Jack Dempsey. Yeah, so it's a really cool kind of thing. Obviously, like amped up to the another one is it's not called the chop, but it's Razor Ruddock's uppercut that he did. And that uppercut is another character's like big. That's his move. You know what I mean? And it's based off of Razor Ruddock. Really I would have never known about Razor Ruddock, and then I've done research into him now. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of a cool guy. Like, you know, praised by Mike Tyson for having that fucking hell of an uppercut and being a heavy fucking hitter. Obviously, didn't live up to the you know the level that he could have, but you know, it was kind of he was drowned in a sea of greats. So, but just really cool, man. Like just a lot of really cool things. I think boxing is a very interesting sport. Old as fuck, man. Been around for fucking ever. People, I mean, I guess people fighting it just kind of been around forever, but the sport of boxing itself.
What do you think came first, like fighting or ball sports?
Ooh, I would think that fighting sports. I think that, well, I don't know, man. That's a
I feel
hard
like in
one.
the early days of man, somebody just hit somebody else and was like, "Hey, wait a minute,
Wait a
that was
second.
kind of entertaining. Do it again."
Yeah. Well, and I wonder when it shifted from, like, at what point in civilization did we shift from um, fighting out of necessity and fighting to survive to then fighting for entertainment? That's what I'm kind of curious about. Because I think that, obviously, like, different sports and games, like, I feel like tag is probably one of the earliest games. It's got to be,
Oh,
man. Just like
it's hide
chasing
and
each
seek,
other
dude.
around, hide and seek. Yeah. Um, those types of
The
games are
penis
probably.
game.
Can you imagine fucking cavemen? Listen, I know there's this fucking saber-toothed tiger over there, but or let's play the penis game. It's gonna be really funny. Your whole fucking
You just hear
tribe
growling and
massacred. Oh god. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure that was a big game back in the Middle Ages, playing the
For
penis game
sure.
with your king.
It'd be even better in a castle, dude. All the echoes.
True.
Penis, penis, penis.
You don't let your king win. He just decapitates you right there. Like, oh man,
Oh, King's rules.
king's rules, baby. Oh god, yeah. I don't know, but I am kind of curious. That is something to look into. I like those types of questions though, because it kind of makes you think like, oh man, now I kind of want to know. So I like kind of like the age that we live in, the ability to like have so much power in the palm of your hands. The ability to like be like, oh, I wonder about this, so let me go like question. I think it's kind of a really important aspect of life is to continue to question and continue to grow and continue to want to learn. And it doesn't always have to be like in an academic sense. It could just be to learn something about yourself, to learn something about the people around you. I think it's always just so important to kind of continue with like personal growth.
You
We
see,
talked at the beginning about like, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I agree with that, and I'm very similar in the way of, if you hear a random question like the one I just posed, it gets your mind going, and then you're gonna end up in a Wikipedia or YouTube rabbit hole later on
Mm-hmm.
because you're just purely curious. But I mean, I think there is people out there who just aren't that curious.
Yes, that was
They
kind of
they
where
hear
I
that
was.
question and they're like,
Yeah,
"That's interesting," but next.
yeah, and that's
Where
kind of
you
what
and I like, we gotta go. We want to research. We want to know.
I know. I think that, and I think that's why we do so well together is because we're we're willing to not just accept things for how they are, and we're willing to ask questions and kind of grow as humans. Because I think that like um, when you stop kind of like figuring shit out or stop trying to
Better
progress
yourself.
forward, yeah, and build yourself, yeah, to look introspectively, to move in some sort of forward progression. It's like, what's the point? You know what I mean? There's a fucking Rage Against the Machine quote, when ignorance reigns, life is lost. Like that has always fucking rung so true in my fucking ears, man. Fucking love them. But like it's one of those things that like it's always rung so true for me, especially now that I'm a little older, where it's like, man, I don't ever want to stop trying to like challenge myself. And like not like it doesn't have to be like the most academic shit. Or it doesn't have to be the most um, you know, introspective and philosophical thing, but just to like make sure that I'm regularly like trying to keep my mind open and trying to learn and trying to open myself to new ideas. I just think that's so important, man. I think that kind of plays into what we talked about at the very beginning of like trying to be a good dude. Like a big part of being a good dude is like keeping yourself open to new ideas, understanding how people from different walks of life, how they approach life and their perspective and how they progress through life in their own way, and being appreciative of that and understanding like even though you may not fully understand it, you can still accept it no matter what. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I was going to say. You don't necessarily have to know the perspective of someone else, but you do have to understand that other people have a different perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and it can be different than yours, and that's perfectly okay.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Honestly, it's kind of what makes the world so interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the diversity of it all is always what, I think about like food. Food's always the big thing for me is like, I love trying food from different cultures. A lot of my favorite food are not from my own culture. And it's just one of those things I like exploring and I like looking at stuff. I'm willing to try most things once. There's certain things I'm like, I don't know, bud.
You get you some Rocky Mountain oysters?
No thanks. Actually,
I
I
think
say
I'd
that
eat one.
I
I'd eat
would
it.
I would try one. I would try one, just for the experience. And I think the fact that I already know what it is, it kind of helps. I think if because all the stories that I've heard about people trying those, it's like they had no idea what it was until after, and were told. And I think that's fucked up. Just tell people what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
more
I
willing
would.
to know. I'm more willing to try if I know what it is. Fuck.
So what do you think, man? Mike or Paul?
I think fucking. It's fucking. I hope Mike is gonna take it. It's funny too because I think maybe because I've been fed very biased media. I've been watching a lot of like Mike Tyson's training, and all of his training looks really solid for his age. I think
you're also
regardless,
only
it's just going to
seeing
be.
something I've noticed is on all those clips, they're all kind of quick, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I can look like I'm very intense and furious punching a punching bag for 10 seconds, but
Yeah.
to go full rounds, man.
Yeah.
At first, when I first heard of this, I thought, oh, dude, Paul's dead. He gonna kill him.
Yeah.
But now, as it gets closer, I'm like, I don't know, man. Mike is kind of old, but he's also Mike fucking Tyson.
They did delay the fight because of some health issues that he had.
Yeah.
He had some stuff with his heart, I think. So.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. I think it was just some irregularities. I don't know if it was like anything serious, but that was one thing that I remember seeing the pictures of him in the airport coming, and he was in a wheelchair. I was like, fuck, man, you forget because he's so cool. And Mike's another guy that I really appreciate. I've followed him for a while because of the fact that he has turned into a very, from this like very furious and angry young individual into a very introspective and conscientious man. And that's something that I really appreciate about him. Such an interesting guy. The stories
Dude, you ever watch
he
Mike
tells
Tyson Mysteries?
Dude,
what?
What is that?
There was an Adult Swim cartoon. It is Mike Tyson's Mysteries. It's basically Mike Tyson leading his little Scooby-Doo gang, which consists of his adopted Asian daughter,
okay,
a ghost, and a pigeon voiced by Norm Macdonald.
No shit. I love Norm Macdonald.
Dude, 100% recommend. You got to check it out.
Hell yeah. All right.
I don't know where it's streaming now. I think with all the Adult Swim stuff is on HBO these days.
Yeah. I was going to say. I think it's HBO.
Mike Tyson Mysteries, dude. 10 out of 10.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I really like it. I've never watched it. That's really funny. I think I've seen him be a guest. I want to say he was a guest on Scooby-Doo itself.
Scooby-Doo, yeah.
I've seen that episode.
Dude, it's come full circle. Amazing. I forgot about that.
But yeah, I don't think I've seen that show. That's really funny. I do. Yeah, I want him to win. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if it's rigged. I don't care. I don't care if Jake Paul takes a fall. I don't care. I want him to win. I don't want it to go the full rounds. I want a fucking classic Mike Tyson knockout. First round, 25 seconds. Go all out. Just fucking beat this boy. You know what I mean? Put him on the ground. Give me that. Give me 30 seconds of Iron Mike. I don't give a fuck about the rest of the fight. I would take 30 seconds of Iron Mike versus 4 rounds of old man Mike. You know what I mean?
I mean, in my opinion, he's got to do it early. I don't know. The longer the fight goes on, the more an old man's going to get gassed.
I think they're going to try and push it. I think it's going to be like.
I think that Paul is going to try and clinch it up so he doesn't get punched as much.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
He's either going to try and stay way the fuck away or hugging Mike Tyson.
True. But
and this is I'm also a professional boxing instructor as well as doctor and podcaster and everything else. This is my professional opinion.
In my professional opinion. These are the strategies for victory.
What Mike's going to want to do is punch the other guy in the face and avoid being punched in his own face. And he will win the fight.
Damn. Very, very, very observant.
It's like the sports commentators in the NFL. Well, they got to put more points on the board.
Yeah. They really just need to get the ball downfield. I wonder what else they're trying to do. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, God.
I hope Mike wins 100%.
Yeah,
I'm nervous for him. The worst outcome is just Mike gets injured.
True. I agree with that.
The best outcome is Mike just knocks him out and dances for us.
Yeah. Just a little old man dance. I don't care.
Just a little shimmy.
A little. Oh, man. That's the hope. I obviously when this episode comes out, y'all will know who won.
You'll already know.
We have no idea. No clue. I'm calling it right now. Mike Tyson wins in the 3rd round. Knockout.
Done.
Actually, no, fuck
done.
that. I'm recalling it. He wins 1st round. We get 30 seconds of Iron Mike. My dreams come true. He just beats his ass. Just classic Iron Mike. And then when Jake's on the ground, he like leans down and bites his ear off.
Nah.
We get real classic Iron Mike.
Classic Mike. You ever see that quote from Mike Tyson where he's like talking shit to the other boxer guy and he's like, I'm gonna fuck you till you love me.
Yeah. What a fucking thing to say to your opponent. Holy shit.
I mean, I'd be scared if my opponent said that to me.
Yeah.
What?
He's talking about eating babies. Praise be to Allah. That shit was crazy, man.
Dude, Mike was wild.
Yeah.
Dude, watch Mike Tyson Mysteries and report back. I can't wait.
I'll check it out. I'll check out some clips and see what I can do. It sounds cool as fuck. Oh man.
Rest in peace, Norm Macdonald.
Fuck, man. Such a great comic. That's one of the comics that, like, when I heard that he passed, it was really fucking sad, man.
Yeah.
What a great fucking mind in
Such
comedy.
a real one.
Yeah. Fucking, oh man. Like some of the hardest I've laughed is like, and the thing about it is too, is I really didn't appreciate Norm Macdonald until I was older. You know what I mean? I think when I was younger and saw him in like Billy Madison or whatever, you know, like those types of movies with Adam Sandler, like I just really did not appreciate him. Or I guess I really wasn't old enough to like understand, but like going back and like watching his old interviews and how fucking on the ball he is. Holy fucking shit. That guy was so on the ball.
Witty.
Such a witty guy. And, that always really like surprised me. I was like, holy fuck, this guy's great. You know what I mean? Oh man.
Who do we have in modern day comedy?
I think Shane Gillis might be kind of in terms of like wittiness. I feel like he's pretty good. Theo Von is another one that I think is pretty solid in terms of like, I think Theo Von would probably be the one that I would consider in terms of like on the spot comedy. Like he'll just say some outlandish shit and you're like, I don't know how you thought of that, but that was amazing. He's one for me, at least, that I always think about.
Not gonna lie, for some reason I thought Shane Gillis and Theo Von were like bad YouTubers.
No.
Dumb shit.
They're both comedians. Shane Gillis kind of came up recently in like the past 4 years with kind of the TikTok era. But Theo Von's been around for quite a while. And it's just kind of been on the normal comedic grind. And then obviously they're both doing like, well, I don't know if Shane's doing it as much, but I know Theo has his podcast that he's done for several years now.
Podcast, dude.
Everyone's got, all these comedians got a podcast. But I think in terms of like,
I'm here.
Yeah, really. I think in terms of like who's got like that like real sharp kind of like really, you know, kind of like catch you off guard kind of wit. I think that Theo Von probably is there. And for me at least. I don't actually know who else I would consider for that. That's an interesting question. I don't know.
I just you know, I feel like, I guess my algorithm is attacking me with random comedy all the time. But there's some funny guys out there, but everything you see these days is just everybody wants to be Matt Rife, it seems like.
Do you mean that in terms of like the clips?
The crowd work being
the crowd
focus.
work and clips, yeah. Well, you know, I think that when you're small, I really feel like that's kind of just the way that you have to go. I think that when you're a small, because crowd, and here's the thing, I don't want, but we need to make sure that it's stated right here. Matt Rife is not the innovator of crowd work. Okay, fuck that. He just kind of capitalized on it with TikTok and that aspect of social media.
Yeah.
But in terms of, kind of that, he definitely kind of normalized how that content is being produced now, or how it's kind of being put out there on like in like short form content. But I think crowd work is kind of like your pinnacle for early days of comedy. I think a lot of modern day comedians don't necessarily have like solid written sets. And I think that when you see the thing that really, for me at least, I think most good comedians can do crowd work. I think the thing that separates the good comedians from the mediocre comedians are if you can do good crowd work, but then also you have a really funny set. afterwards. And obviously, I'm speaking about this as a non-comedian, and I know that comedians are very guarded in the way that they, and their culture and that sort of thing. But I think from an outsider's perspective, that's the way that I see it, is that if you're a good comedian, not only can you have some really good crowd work, but you can also, fucking like sit up there and just tell some goddamn jokes, tell some stories, make people fucking laugh without having to like just, fuck with somebody in the crowd or without having to interact with anybody else. It can just be you. You're the funny one, right? Rather than kind of a collective, like, let's all laugh at this thing that is funny to all of us. Ha ha ha,
Yeah. I went to a comedy show a year or two ago. You ever watch Letterkenny?
Yeah. Oh,
Dude,
I think you told me about this.
We went and saw Squirrely Dan do a stand-up set, and that was amazing, dude. That guy.
Yeah. I think that guy is genuinely funny. I think he is probably, I bet he could probably do some solid crowd work, but I bet he could also just do a full set and like,
that's what
just
it was.
be funny on his own. Yeah. And I bet he's just funny on his own.
He told the story as the highlight of the set for me about, he's a big boy and he's like, I married an ex-bodybuilder. And he's like, the best thing about marrying a bodybuilder is even when you're a big boy like me, you fall asleep on the couch and you wake up tucked in your bed.
Holy shit, that's fucking good. Oh man. Yeah, I still need to watch the last season of Letterkenny, actually, funnily enough.
I need to catch up on Shoresy.
Oh, did they come out with a new season? Or
I think.
Interesting. I'll have to look it up. I've been so caught up in fucking SVU, dude. Oh man.
Still?
I'm on season 9, bro.
My God.
I'm like halfway through season 9. It's so crazy. So it's funny too, man, because I'm at the point now where I've watched so much SVU that I'm like predicting how the episode's gonna end. And there's a lot of times where I'm right. You know what I mean? A lot of the things is like the cameo of the show always is important, right? There was an episode that I watched just recently that had, obviously this is like from like 2005 or like 2004 or some shit like that. But there was an episode that I watched that had Bob Saget in it. And I was like, he's going to be important. I don't know what he's doing, but he's important to the story. You know what I mean? And he was like the main, he murdered people or whatever.
Nice.
And that was the thing. Like that was it's like anytime you spot the cameo, you're like, whoever you are, you're integral to the story. I don't know who you are, but I know that you're important. But there's still episodes, man, where like sometimes I'm like, I have no clue what happened. And it's always interesting to watch the mystery kind of unfold. And then it goes into like the thing that always gets me is like how fucking corrupt the police are in the show. And like just so blatantly, like they don't even care. They know they're corrupt. They're always bending the rules and shit.
I'm a dirty cop.
Yeah, and they rarely get caught for it. Well, the thing is, like, they're dirty in the way of like, we're dirty because we're helping people. We're bending the rules. And then like, yeah, I don't know. It's a wild fucking ride, man.
It's something I love is find pick a random modern day celebrity and you could probably find their cameo from Law and Order 20 years ago.
Dude, yeah, there's so many people where I'm like, oh shit, it's this guy, or like, oh shit, it's this person. Like, oh wow, like I remember this person from. Yeah. I'm like, damn, I did not realize they had so many celebrity cameos in that show.
Because back then they weren't a celebrity; they were just an extra.
True. Yeah, there was one with like a young Dakota Fanning, where she was in there. I can't think about off the top of my head all these people. I know Method Man was just in a recent episode that I watched. This is like season 9. But yeah, for some reason, like this is the first show. Like I watched House. And I've watched a number of other shows where like I'll get a couple seasons in and I'm like, I don't want to watch this anymore. Not because I don't appreciate the show or don't enjoy it. The Sopranos is another one where like I got to season 3 and was like, all right, well, I don't really want to watch this right now. So I'm going to go do something else. Dude, every time. And I think it's because of like the ritual that I've made of like, I don't watch that show anywhere but at my girlfriend's house. So when I go to my girlfriend's, I'm sitting there and I'm watching. Law and Order time. She's doing her thing and I'm watching Law and Order. And then every now and then we watch some Law and Order together.
You're watching SVU, right?
Yeah, SVU.
Has Ice-T showed up yet?
He shows up season 2. So this is the thing that kind of fucked me up is that the whole first season, there's a whole other girl named Jeffries. And that's the character because Finn is Ice-T's character that takes over for season 2. And so she's the detective for season 1. And I was like, man, she actually seemed like pretty chill. Like I liked her. And then as soon as Finn comes in, I'm like, oh, okay, I get why she was replaced. Because Finn is he's just such a good character.
So good.
Oh man. such a fantastic character, man. So well written. So
Ice-T is actually another awesome human.
yes,
I don't know how much
absolutely.
you know about him. He's great.
I do know a decent amount. I know that.
You ever listen to his metal band?
No, I didn't know he had a metal band. That's cool as
He's
fuck.
the singer of a metal band.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
They still tour.
Fuck yeah, that's really awesome. I just know that he's a good guy. I just know that like I've followed a lot of his shit on Twitter and like seen a lot of what he's done and like that sort of shit. Like I feel like you can kind of get a certain perspective of who he is based on what he says. And I feel like he means a lot of what he says. None of it ever feels like corporate or forced or anything like that.
That's
None of it ever
dude.
feels like media friendly. He's a good dude. Good dude right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but his character is so good. It's so good. He's only gotten better. It's funny too because he had the original like his hair like pulled back and then in a ponytail. He just in like one of the recent episodes in season 9 just went to the buzz cut. Just switched to the buzz cut.
And that I never even saw the long.
You don't remember the long hair?
I've not watched early seasons. I think I watched 5 minutes of the first episode so my wife could show me how old it was, and then we went back to like season 19 or some shit.
Okay. See, I've only watched the early episodes. I haven't watched any of the recent episodes. So that's kind of going to be interesting for me if I'll still be interested by the time I get to like season 19 or whatever. But I think I watched like up to season like 10 or 11. Not all at once, but I'm saying like I've seen like bits and pieces of like up to season 11 or 12. Like I've watched the entire like every time I've watched, Stabler is still there, and I know at a certain point Stabler leaves. I don't know when that happens. I don't want him to leave because I really think that he's the best.
If Stabler is who I think it is, because I have difficulty keeping up with the characters, he goes off and gets his own show later on.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
he does.
Yeah,
which upsets me. I don't want him to get his own show. I want him to stay because Benson and Stabler are the best duo.
Just saying his show is not as good.
Yeah, I don't think it would be. I feel like their dynamic plays off of. I feel like all of them, at least where I'm at right now, it's kind of perfect. The dynamic they have right now, is really perfect. They have my favorite ADA, Casey Novak. That's my girl, Diane Neal. Dude, she's the shit. I fucking love Casey Novak. That's my ADA. My girlfriend will like take her break at work and come take a nap or some shit, and I'll be like in the bed with her, like with because I'm like watching shit on her laptop, and I'll be like, dude, Casey Novak will do something in the show, and I'll like Haley's like dead asleep, and I'm like, Haley, that's my ADA. That's my ADA girl. She's the shit, man. That's my ADA. That's Casey Novak. I love her. Oh man.
Amazing.
Well, because they have this one ADA. I don't even remember. Oh, Alex. Alex is the first ADA they have.
Alex, man.
Dude, Alex. And then the next ADA comes in, and it's Casey Novak, and Casey Novak is the shit. But eventually, I think Alex comes back, which I'm upset about. I like Casey. I think Casey should be the ADA forever. And yeah, I'm gonna be upset when the cast change happens because I know there's a lot of people. Like I know that I think it's Richard Belzer who plays Munch. I know he kind of aged out of it. So did the captain. They both aged out of it and kind of like, moved on from the show. I think Ice-T is still doing it. And then
Ice-T is still in it.
Yeah.
Still
and
kicking
then
ass.
Is it Marisa? I can't remember her name. The girl
Mariska
who plays
Hargitay. Respect.
Yeah. Dude, she's the shit, man. That's one of those people that like, if I were to do like a celebrity interview, I would love to do like, have Benson and Stabler have those two as like guests to do like a celebrity interview.
Not the actors. I want Benson and Stabler.
Yeah, I want them to show up in character as Benson and Stabler, and I want Stabler to beat the shit out of me at the end of the interview. Just police brutality. No,
is this like a fetish thing?
No, this is just like that's just what he does. He just beats.
I love Law and Order. Beat me.
Just give me a black eye. I want to say that Stabler hit me. I don't need my fucking lawyer. Dude, I've been constantly like, anytime that Haley doesn't do anything that I like, I'm like, I'm gonna get my ADA involved if you don't chill out. Like, I'm gonna call Benson and Stabler if you don't calm down. Fuck. Yeah.
So my wife, I'm pretty sure she finished up all the Law and Order SVU and the other one with Stabler. Running out of documentaries on Netflix, as she is one to do. Started watching freaking CSI. The OG original CSI.
See,
and it's so cringe, but she does like art and she just does that as background noise that she half pays attention to. But dude, it cracked me up so bad the other night. They have some dude in like the jail doing an interrogation to get the confession type situation, and he's like a stereotypical like gang guy,
Yeah.
bandana and talking like that. And he says some shit about like, I run these streets. I'm the real macaroni around here. And my wife is sick of me saying that. I've told her I'm the real macaroni around here probably 100 times this week.
Holy
Gotta
shit.
respect me.
I'm the real macaroni. That's really good. That's like
I don't know. There has to be context. I need to go back and figure out what the context is for that. Why would somebody say that?
It's got to be just some like Hollywood writer who was like, "This sounds tough.
This sounds tough
as shit."
This is
That's
what
like,
real.
This is what real macaronis say.
Doesn't even make sense. It's not like is it uncooked noodle, so he's hard? Is that what he's saying?
Maybe. Oh, I never thought
Yeah.
about it like that.
But if you boil that, man, he turns real soft and squishy.
Soft as shit, yeah. Under some heat and pressure, yeah. Fuck. Goes good with some cheese, though. I tell you what. That's like his partner in crime is cheese. We just go so good together. I'm macaroni. This is the cheese.
Oh my god, it'd be like a gang member duo, Mac and cheese.
And cheese.
Hey.
Gotta be done. It has to have been done before. That's some like modern day Bonnie and Clyde shit. Mac and
like
cheese.
if somebody really did that already?
Oh, it has to. Well, maybe not in real life, but like in a show.
Yeah, on a show for sure.
On a show, they've had to have like a mac and cheese. That's like son of a bitch. Foster Home for Imaginary Friends. His first imaginary friend. So the kid's name is Mac, and his like one of his old imaginary friends is cheese, and it's mac and cheese.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, and then his other adopted imaginary or his current imaginary friend is blue, so it's blue cheese, and that's a whole thing that they play into. It's just so silly.
Amazing. I think that show came just a touch after my time. I never watched much of it.
Yeah. I think because of my niece, I got away with watching some of those shows because she was like 6 or 7 years younger than me, so I got away with watching some of the more. Or well, I say that I mostly had to watch a bunch of kid shows back then. Couldn't really fucking throw on MTV or whatever I was watching at the time. But yeah, it was man.
Remember MTV?
I do. You remember?
I remember.
I was gonna say the one thing that keeps popping up in my mind for like sayings or shit is General Sam. Like, what up, pimp? Like, my bad, pimp. Yeah, that shit. And his latest video is him playing Rust and Zomboid. Oh, my bad, pimp. I didn't mean to do that. It's just so funny.
Dude, that latest Rust series is so. And he becomes he's like a reporter, investigator, and then he finds the one guy.
Dude, that whole video series, has been my favorite. I think those videos and then his Shadows of Doubt videos are some of my favorites. And all of his Zomboid videos. It's the investigative ones, the ones where he's like playing the detective.
Oh, that's that it's like a blocky kind of Robloxy looking city.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Shadows of Doubt is actually.
I was thinking Shadows of Mordor when you said that. It's not the same.
There's shadows in there. Shadows of Doubt is probably one of my favorite games that's come out in recent time. Just based on the way that it plays and the sort of like the ability to just like kind of like make your own story with it. You know what I mean? You're given, it's basically like it's almost like D&D where it's like you're given a prompt and you're given a story or you're given like, a situation and then you kind of create the story around it like on your own. And I think if you're not imaginative like that, you might not have as fun or as much fun, I should say. It's still fun just like solving the mysteries, but
I've seen him playing it, and then I think I've watched you play it a little bit.
Yeah, I've had
is that
to
a single player game
once. It is a single player game, which I think is. I think it'd be fun if there was like one more person. I don't think it would be good with like 4 people, but I think if you had like if it was like you and a partner, I think that would be really cool. Like detective partners would be really fucking cool. Working on a case together. No, I don't think so. Hopefully, maybe in the future they'll do something like that where like you have like a partner system. I think that would be really really fun. But even just playing by yourself, it's just like the lone detective. The idea of like I'm gonna crack this case wide open, that type of shit. It's always funny to me.
I'm gonna get my ADA on this.
I'll get my ADA on this. Oh man, so funny. But yeah, I really love Shadows of Doubt. For those of you who've never played it, it's basically it's a procedurally generated world that you then explore and solve mysteries in. And so you get all different sorts of, usually it's murder cases, but there's other
like
smaller,
a cop, right?
Yeah. Huh?
You're like a cop or an
You're
investigator?
no, you're an independent investigator. You're like a
Oh,
PI
you're a
basically,
dick.
and you solve the crimes for the cops because the cops don't give a shit.
Yeah,
They do
cops
their
are incompetent.
investigation, but they always fuck up the crime scene. They're always making a mess, getting their footprints everywhere. It's fucking idiots. And you're living in like this like neo future, like a fucking cyberpunk
I was
esque
gonna say
kind
it looked a
of
little
80s.
cyberpunky.
Yeah, essentially like the world is flooded and all of the cities are these just like small islands.
Oh,
um
that's cool.
yeah, and so you're kind of stuck on your island. Everything that you're eating is synthetic. All of the drinks and foods are all synthetically made. There's not really anything natural anymore. You walk around, everything, all the trees and like shrubbery is all dead and stuff because it's all been rotted away. It's very interesting. It's always like raining and snowing and shitty. And it's always awful. It's always perpetually night for some reason too. I feel like that entire game, there's never. I think that there is obviously like daytime, but it always feels like it's just like this perpetual rainy night. Really cool, really aesthetic environment. I really love it. It's a lot of fun, man.
Might have to check
Yeah.
that out. It's probably not too expensive, right?
No, I want to say it's only like $10 or 15, something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a really for what you get out of the game, it's really good. Still being updated regularly. They just the one of the most recent updates was like, I think it was one of the new jobs that you can get is finding a cheater. So you basically get contracted by someone's spouse, and their spouse is or like they're being cheated on. So you have to find out and investigate who they're cheating on their spouse with, and like catch them in the act and shit.
You have to live out that
That's kind of
cheaters
interesting.
show.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
Nice.
I heard a lot of that was, or at least a portion of that was staged. I just
Yeah.
watched a video about that recently. Like I know there was one
I
episode
wanna
where
s-
like the host gets stabbed.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of, and I think that was like the ending of the show.
Maybe, I don't know, but I know that was staged. I know that they at
Oh,
least
he didn't get stabbed?
it's theorized that it was staged because of the a lot of the I can't remember if it was the police had no, because so for those of you who don't know, you can actually call in for anything that's on public record. There's a lot of like arrests that are on public record and shit like that. Um, but I want to say that the police were never called to anything at that lake that they were at when he got stabbed. There was, I don't remember all the, I really don't want to speak too much about this because I don't remember the exact evidence that was presented about why a lot of people think that it was fake. There was a lot of people on Reddit and a lot of, obviously, your normal Reddit investigators. But there was a lot of people who were like, because of this certain information, it seems like this never really happened. He never got stabbed. But he took the time off and like pretended that he was injured, and MTV was like, "Oh, we're so sorry this happened." But a lot of people thought that it might have just been hype to build the show up, because I think that they went on for a couple more seasons after that. I think it only recently ended. I know that they did interview one girl, and I think that was another thing too with the stabbing thing, is that the girl wasn't told what was going to happen. And I don't think that that was even her boyfriend. It was like they were just actors. Yeah, and I think that happened a couple times where people were just like paid actors that like got told like make a scene when this happens type shit. Which is kind of just how reality television has been.
Par for the course.
Yeah. So it's not really anything that to me that's really surprising. Reality TV nowadays is not usually reality. Like, you know what I mean? So
I think it all started going downhill with Survivor.
yeah. Funnily enough, I want to say like, so it's funny that you mentioned Survivor, because I've seen a decent amount of Survivor.
I have to.
And the I want to say like after like season like 9, whatever the season that Boston Rob was on, that was, I don't know if you know the story of Boston Rob.
I remember the name. I don't remember the story.
I think that might be the next deep dive that I do, is Boston Rob on Survivor. That's such a cool fucking story. He's this guy. I'll just give a little brief kind of summary. He's the guy. He was on the first season of Survivor. It was either, no, I'm sorry. He was on the second season of Survivor, and it was him and this girl. They ended up falling in love on Survivor. They were the final two when it came down to the vote. They were the final two of Survivor, and he like gave it up so that way she would win. And then once she won, he proposed to her. They got married. They've been married, I think, to this day. He came back around like season 9. He came back a couple more times. He came back like 3 more times. He came back in season 9, I think, or season 8. and played what people call like the best game of Survivor that there is. Like if there was the game of Survivor, he played it the best. And so since then he's basically ruined it because now all these people play the game like Boston Rob. And it's such an insane fucking thing. The strategy that he took, he's kind of like the innovator to like fuck the game up, and he kind of ruined the whole series for it. But
what did he do?
Huh?
What did he do?
It was the way that he played. It was. I don't want to get into it, man. I really want to like talk really deeply about his strategy. It was
sure would really be cool. Sure would be a shame if somebody swiped that deep dive idea.
I feel like it's been done before. It's one of those things, man, where like it's just really crazy. Like, and I watched that. It's funny because I watched the original season that he was in, and then I watched the season that because a friend of mine was really into Survivor, and we were watching some episodes, and she was telling me all about it. And it's funny too because now I go back and watch clips, and people will refer back to Boston Rob about the way that he fucking played in that season, and it was like fucking perfect. And so now, yeah, every time that the season with these new seasons, I don't know if it's been updated since, like if people are playing differently now, but I know that for a very long time people were just copying his strategy. They like that was like the golden strategy. That's how you just fucking won. Oh man, yeah, it's crazy.
During COVID, me and my family just started watching Survivor for some damn reason.
Interesting.
I mean, we watched a lot during that time. What'd you do?
Yeah, really. Yeah. I streamed a lot, actually. Now I think about it. I was like, what did I do?
Played a fuckload of Tarkov.
Yeah.
Watched the Tiger King.
Yeah, fuck, man. Tiger King. That's crazy.
That's about it. I drank a lot.
Not much else to do. Yeah, I've definitely fucked my stomach up because of how much I was drinking.
That was when I first learned that you can get alcohol delivered to your door.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's COVID outside. I gotta do this.
It's COVID out there. I can't go out there. Dude, traffic was crazy back then, man. I fucking, driving around. Oh, man, no one was out there. It was crazy.
Nobody.
Take me back.
No, don't say that.
Don't take me back. Don't take me back. I'm kidding. It was just a very odd. I think for me, because I'm such a homebody, it was like, oh, I'm not leaving. Cool, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
I mean, I very much felt the same way, and then I got a month off work paid to sit at home.
Oh,
I was living the dream.
Yeah, for sure.
But then But then when I did go back to work, it was
all these
dealing with
and people who were like, "Well, I'm not gonna do this. You can't make me."
I always remember my boss coming to me and being like, "All right, here's what's happening. We're shutting down for 2 weeks. If you want to stay and work, you'll get some extra pay, or you can go home and get paid for 2 weeks." I was straight up, see ya.
Bye.
I ain't gonna question this. Are you kidding me? See ya.
Yeah. I remember, my boss came up to me and was like, hey, so, because at the time I was working reduced hours so I could leave to go work for the railroad. And so I was already interviewing with the railroad, and my boss came out and was like, so, hey, they're actually sending people home. We don't know when you are going to come back. It was like noon at this point. Like I had been, I'd only been there for like an hour or two. And my boss was like, yeah, so like, if you want, you can stay the rest of the day or you can just head out now. And I was like, later. I like just grabbed my shit and left and like never saw them again. Oh man, that was wild.
I think I remember you telling me it's like 2-3 months later, you called them and be like, hey, what's up? I haven't heard anything. And they were like, no, you're let go.
Yeah. So the funny thing is that I got furloughed in February. And then I officially got released in March or May. So it was like 1 to 3 months later, when I actually got released. But the thing about it is that, so I worked for a certain car rental place. I won't say which one. And I worked for them for several years, and I was planning on leaving to then go work for the railroad, and that was going to involve relocation. It was going to involve all this shit. So I was working reduced hours. So I was not working nearly as much as I would originally. And by that time I was already like on my way out. I fucking hated that job. I was ready to get out. I was ready to move. I had my whole life ready and planned. And of course, COVID kind of shafted that fucking dream.
Yeah.
And so I had sat there and I was I was just doing my thing because like the day that I got, it was funny too because everything lined up so kind of perfectly because like in December of that year we got better internet at my house, and I was like I could finally stream, so I started streaming like casually on the weekends. And so as soon as I got told that hey you're gonna get sent home, I was like cool. I went home, immediately started up the stream, and I streamed for like
Yeah, you
12
did.
hours that day, right? Um, and that's all I did. So I was chill. I was like doing my thing, whatever. I didn't really care. And so time passed. In June of that year, I rented a car because you get discounts if you work there. And I went up and saw TJ and Zach, and or no, it was July because I went and spent 4th of July with them. And so I hung out with TJ and Zach, and came back, and I was like, cool. I returned my car, everything, and I was like, hey, I wonder when I'm gonna be able to come back. And I heard from my boss at that point, like, oh, it's probably going to be close to the beginning of the year next year. And I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. But whatever, I'm cool. I'm chilling. And so then November of that year, I called up and was like, or cause I was like, I used to be able to like log in from home, to like book a rental. And I tried logging in, like couldn't get in. I was like, what the fuck's going on? And I called my boss, or I called my branch really. And I had a new manager that was there.
Oh
But I
no.
knew him because he was from a different branch. I was like, hey, what's
Okay.
going on, man? He's like, I don't know. You might have to come up here and like reset your thing because it's been so long. I was like, all right, whatever. So I drove up there, tried to reset it. It wouldn't work. And they're like, hey, man, I don't know. We'll get the area manager to call you tomorrow, or call you like sometime this week and we'll figure it out. I was like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Because I had got told by my previous manager, like, hey, it's going to be the beginning of the year, like January, I'm going to get brought back. Go home, get a call that next day. And my area manager was like, hey man, I don't know why no one told you that you got let go, like just full on,
Ugh.
like completely let go and laid off from the whole COVID thing. And I was like, oh, really would have liked to know that because I wasn't even like, I was like, cool, I have a job, like still,
Yeah. You
but
probably could have collected unemployment during that COVID time too.
oh, I was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I was. I wouldn't have, if it had been, here's the thing, if I wasn't getting money from unemployment, I would not have been so chill. I would have like, well, fuck, man, I got to find another, because I did end up finding another job. Once I knew that I didn't have a job, I was like, because that's the whole thing is like, I wasn't even really searching for a job because I was like, cool, I still have a job. I don't need to find a new one. And then it turns out I did. Turns out I fucking did because I didn't have a job. They just didn't tell me. Yeah, that was a whole fucking mess. Fuck them. I was really pissed. I hated that company anyways.
I have a somewhat similar COVID story. It's
Yeah.
just on the vein of how COVID fucked everything up.
Mm-hmm.
I was scheduled, me and my, at the time, girlfriend were scheduled to take a cruise to, I think, the Bahamas, Costa Rica, some shit like that. I don't know. That was scheduled for March of 2020.
Okay.
So that got canceled. Because, March of 2020 is when everything went shit.
Yeah.
So I had already, in December, I went and bought an engagement ring, and I had the intention of proposing romantic cruise, ocean or beach or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out when I get there. And I had told my dad, who was going to be on the cruise, about it. Like, this is my plan, if you need to kind of help me or something when we get there. And he's excited. He's down. And then cruise gets canceled. Like, some amount of time goes by. And one night I'm just sitting in bed and my dad calls me and my wife's right next to me. And I didn't turn the volume down or anything. I didn't think about it. And my dad says something to the effect of like, well, what are you going to do about your plan now? Or something like that. And at the time in my head, I'm like, Anna, it's like, she heard it. She's going to know. She heard. She's too smart. She heard it.
Yeah.
She played dumb. She played dumb like a goddamn champion. Because I was unable, my initial plan got shot. So I had to just sit on that wedding ring or engagement ring. I think I finally proposed in December.
Okay.
So I sat on it for a whole year.
Damn.
And then after giving it to her and excitement, happy, now we're starting planning phase. She goes, oh yeah, by the way, totally heard your dad say it that night. Yeah, I thought you did. So the plan was spoiled before it ever even happened.
Oh shit.
Fucking COVID.
Fucking COVID, man. Yeah, it was a wild time. Definitely could in another episode kind of go over in more depth about kind of how for me it like completely changed the trajectory of my life, and kind of how
you were about to move to Kansas, right?
Yeah, I was gonna move to Kansas to start working with the railroad. I I wasn't dating my current girlfriend. You know, it's funnily enough, one of the things that happened within the
Oh.
past 2 weeks that we haven't been recording, my girlfriend and I celebrated our 4-year anniversary. That's crazy. Longest relationship I've ever been in. The second longest relationship that I've been in has been like 3 months. So this has been like really crazy, really surreal. Definitely a learning experience, but it's just really cool to like have that, to be at that point in our relationship where we're just like so comfortable with each other that it's like, all right, this is fucking cool. But yeah, no, I hadn't started dating her. Like we were friends and we knew each other. And that's a whole story that I could get into about how we ended up getting together. But that was, yeah, I wasn't dating her at the time. And like, it was just, I just knew that I knew where my life was going up until, yeah, like March of 2020. Well, it's funnily enough, because I had my first interview. So I had two events that I did that were basically tests, passed those with flying colors because I already knew what I was doing with the job. I had another one come up. I had my first interview, which was done in Kansas, and then I had a second interview, which was supposed to be done locally where I am in Texas. And the thing happened where I had to do the second interview via like Skype call or like Zoom call. And I remember so like vividly, like I'm talking to the head of the department that I'm going to work for. I'm like, hey man, like when do you think like y'all are going to be back in business? And when do you think like I could come and then like, you know, be working for y'all? And he was like, well, you know, it's up in the air right now. We don't exactly know, but we'll stay in contact with you. And I didn't hear from them till June of the next year. So, yeah, it was kind of fucked. It was just, and like, it's funny too. Cause like when I remember, man, the first call that I got, it was my buddy who had worked with them I'd known him for like 10 years. And it was my buddy that called me and he was like, hey man, like, how's it going? Like, do you want to, you know, what are you thinking about like coming back out to work with us? And I just like broke down and fucking cried because I was like, I can't fucking, like, my life got fucking ruined by you guys. Like that, my whole trajectory of like everything that I had planned and everything that I was going for and all that I really wanted and like everything that I thought my life was going to be is like got ripped from my hands. And yeah, I don't know, man. It was just so.
And then you met your girlfriend.
And well, no, I met my girlfriend. We started dating.
Or then it, yeah.
In November of that year. That was the thing too, is that we started dating. It was funny too, because like she invited me to go to a wedding with her, which was like, all right, like, because we were hanging out a lot during COVID. I trusted her. She lived alone, and I trusted her to not. We were both kind of homebodies. I trusted her to not go out and like get fucking, you know, COVID. So like, but so she invited me to go to this wedding. She's like, I don't want to go alone. Do you want to go with me? And I was like, okay. And that was like the first like time when like the mutual feelings were like shared. Like, oh yeah, I do like you and feel this way about you and all that shit, all that sappy shit.
Do you like me? Check
you
yes
like
or
me?
No.
Yeah. And yeah, shortly after that we started dating, and that was like I said 4 years ago. It's oh man, it's crazy how time flies. But yeah, it's been cool. Life is so weird, man.
It is. Man, think about it though. If you'd gone off, you'd been in Kansas just riding railroad trains all over, and you wouldn't have met your girlfriend, we might not have started a podcast.
Yeah, true.
You wouldn't be playing Sparking Zero right now.
Yeah,
it's a guarantee.
It's a guarantee. Yeah, I would not be the man I am today. Definitely.
That's right.
There's a lot that, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I understand that it was a very impactful part of my life, but I also think that it was, I look at it from the negatives and the positives of it. You know, it wasn't just this like horrible thing that happened to me where it's like, oh, woe is me. And, you know, fucking my life is ruined. Like you have to look at the positives of it. You know, yeah, you're absolutely right. My schedule would have been way too inconsistent to start a podcast or to, you know, do anything. And I don't think that I probably wouldn't have started a podcast. At least maybe. And here's the thing: maybe I wouldn't have started a podcast with you.
Maybe you cheat on me in the alternate reality.
Could have been a you know, the Kansas Kirby. I met another Kirby in Kansas and started a podcast with him.
All right, I got your number, Silas. All
All
right, guys, there's going to be some extra links under this week's video to my new podcast.
Oh, okay. What do
Which
you
is-
if you're gonna call? Yeah, what are you gonna call it?
Damn, I knew you were going to ask me that. I don't have anything clever to say. We're going to call it the Fuck Silas Podcast.
Fuck Silas, the podcast.
And it's not going to be on YouTube for obvious reasons.
Yeah, Spotify exclusive. Oh man.
Now we're just going straight to Kick.
Oh no, God, that's a whole other can of worms. Jesus Christ. Anyways, do you want to wrap up, or you want to do the lolcow thing again?
Oh,
That's up to you if you want to do it.
dealer's choice.
No. That's up to you. You have to make the decision. Do you want to hear me ramble about a lolcow, or you want to cut it off right now?
Is it going to be a good one?
I don't know. You have to make the decision. Unless you want me to choose one.
Yeah, let's do that.
You want me to
pick
choose one? Okay.
Pick a good one.
All right. I
Pick
can
one
do
that'll
that.
make me happy.
I can do that. Let me look at my list. That'll make you happy?
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay, maybe I can't do
I
that.
love how you so confidently responded. I could do that. I got you. Oh, wait.
We
wait.
might have to skip on that then. Yeah, none of these are gonna make you happy. These are all gonna make you super sad. They're all terrible people.
All right, number 6.
Number 6. Oh no. Why? Really? You sure you don't want to change your Okay,
Is it Chris Chan?
Huh?
Is it Chris Chan?
No.
Okay, as long as it's not that, rock it.
Okay, I'll keep this one short. This one has had multiple updates recently because of the insanity of this person. Let me before I start this, I need you to just see this person. Okay? So remember Kirby's Worst Nightmares. I'm posting the picture right now. This is Daniel Larson. Daniel Larson is...
That's a reverse mohawk.
Yeah, it's a reverse hawk.
Does he rock that?
He did for a while.
His fucking teeth fill in the gap. Like there's no teeth. He's a mohawk teeth and an inverted mohawk head.
Holy shit. Daniel Larson's an interesting case. He's another one of those types of lolcows that has you can track his life all the way back to childhood. There was a news story done about him. He's a man that has quite a few mental disabilities. Like clearly he's kind of, he's going through a rough time in life. He's got it a little worse off than not. And he's just kind of a weird dude in general. And he's very easily targeted for trolling. A big thing with Daniel is that anytime anyone kind of tells him anything, he just automatically believes it. Very gullible. It's very easy to troll him. And he also kind of like has these outbursts of not necessarily anger, but he just has these outbursts that end up getting him in trouble. He's been arrested numerous times. And a couple of the memes that end up surrounding him is one that he's in love with the singer Grace VanderWaal, who was on... She was on, I think it was America's Got Talent. She was like this 13-year-old girl. He is like, he thinks that Grace loves him. He thinks that him and Grace, like, it's like a weird obsession of like Grace VanderWaal. Grace VanderWaal is, yeah. I don't know.
Does she have any idea who he is?
No. I don't think that
Hopefully
she has any clue. I think the only ties that they have together are like, I'm pretty sure that maybe she's done like a cease and desist. I don't know the full scope of it. That type of shit. Where like it's like,
She
hey,
sent me a restraining order. She's in love.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, Daniel's an odd case, man. He's moved around a lot. He spent quite a bit of time in Denver, Colorado, and he was spending a lot of time. He's been homeless for a while and spent a lot of time around the campus. Where he actually kind of became famous because of his TikTok account. His TikTok kind of blew up. A lot of the local students there found his TikTok account and would interact with him in various ways. And they basically would make him like trick him and make him feel like he's a celebrity. Sometimes it would be a little bit more lighthearted. Sometimes it's a little bit more, they're fucking assholes and just being mean to him. Either way, it was just kind of weird and entertaining content. Daniel's just kind of a weird guy. And that's kind of the thing that he wants. He wants to be famous. He wants that fame. He wants that notoriety. He wants to be well known. He kind of sees himself as a star. Like he thinks that like he has these like millions of fans out there that just love and adore him via TikTok, right? Um, and there are
Okay.
people that feed into that fantasy for him, where they're like, "Yeah, we love you," all my fans and stuff. I want to say that he's made a little bit of music, not good music, obviously. Anytime a lolcow makes music, it's never good. Um, but the one thing I did want to talk about is where he is currently. So on September 16th of 2023, he was arrested for assault. He was then arrested again in February 2nd of 2024 for failing to show up to court. He was then arrested again, and obviously he's been arrested previous times before this, but these are the most recent arrests. He was arrested again in March 19th of 2024, and then released and then arrested a final time on April 2nd. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, he was arrested again on April 2nd and then arrested another final time facing federal charges on April 30th. And he has 7 counts of making, I'm going to say, quote unquote, threats. I will not say how he threatened because that is something that is, we can't talk about it. We just can't. Like, it's literally the types of threats that he made, we can't talk about. That's just that. They're federal charges. You can go and look it up for yourself, what he is charged with. But the most recent updates that we get from Daniel are a troll that has gotten a hold of his prison contact. And so they've been calling him from prison. I don't know if they wrote him notes with a phone number or how it goes, or I don't know how they got into contact. But essentially, there are 4 or 5 phone calls that have been recorded that are between Daniel Larson and this guy. And it's some of the most wild and wacky shit. Obviously, Daniel doesn't have access to a phone. He doesn't have access to the outside world beyond whatever is being allowed to him within prison. And I don't think that I don't think he's ever even really getting out. Like, I think that he's kind of fucked. Like, I think that he's like facing a lot of like serious time in prison for the things that he said. And this guy is the only contact that we have of him. And it's so, the thing that always really kind of surprises me is the lengths that people are willing to go to stay in contact and to find out things about these lolcows. Like, it's always so weird that people are willing to, like this guy is calling him in prison and like, having these full blown like schizo conversations with these people. And the shit's just, it's so crazy. But yeah, that's kind of a little kind of diatribe about Daniel Larson and kind of the wackadoodle that he is.
Okay. All right. So first of all, what was his initial content?
His initial content was just like TikTok, him walking around and just like his day to day, like kind of vlogging type of content. He would,
okay, but he's homeless.
He's homeless. Yeah. When he blew up, a lot of his content was, cause I want to say that he was living with family for a while, and I don't know if his family died or if they just kicked him out or something. I don't know. He's one of those that I know more about his more recent life than his early life. I know that he's been documented for a while. Like I said, there was a news special done about him as being a special needs kid within a program that then evolved into people kind of following his life. And then again, he kind of blew up with the TikTok era. Like I said before, TikTok has kind of brought out a lot of these lolcows and a lot of people that are just kind of really weird and odd to look at. He's one of them. And it's, fuck. It's just very odd. But a lot of his content was just like him walking around giving updates. A lot of it too was other people. So like I mentioned the I guess it's the University of Colorado that's there. Students in that university would find him. That's another thing too, is that'll happen is that you have these people that would find him and interact with him. And then those interactions is kind of how World of T-Shirts is, where those interactions are what ends up kind of blowing his overall popularity or notoriety up is these short interactions or sometimes, extended interactions. One of notoriety is he had a group of students that convinced him that he was going to go up onto a stage where there was a music performance. And so he was trying to like get through security. He was like, no, I'm supposed to go up there. Like I'm supposed to go up there next. And like the security was like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, you're not. Like, but he had been wholly convinced that, yeah, I belong up there. I'm supposed to be up there. I'm supposed to either like give a speech or talk or whatever. And people were riling him up and, yeah, Daniel is one of the more sad kind of, like, it kind of sucks kind of cases. Definitely one of those that one, I don't think that he'll ever stop because I don't think he knows how to. And then two, I think that like, it's one of those things where like, you have to look at the kind of system around him, the support system that he had. I feel like he didn't have any sort of support or had Anyone around him that you know, really could have led him in a more positive light, right? At the same time, you know, he's an adult and he's made some terrible decisions. He said some fucking awful things. You know, he has, like, this is why I keep telling people, like, there's a lot of these people that you're going to want to pity them. You shouldn't. And Daniel, I think, is one of those people that, because of his actions, probably shouldn't be pitied too much. You can pity his journey, but don't pity the man as he is now. He is in prison, rightfully so, for his own actions. So just keep that in mind.
I'm glad you said that, because one of the things I was notating is, like, this all just sounds sad, and, like, he has some mental health issues. Is he even, like, cognizant that he's fucking up so hard?
Well, I think to an extent, I think if it was pointed out to him, then yes. I think that if it was, because the thing about it is too, is like the last time that he went to appear in court, he appeared alone without counsel and pleaded guilty to all of his, he knew that he had done wrong, basically. He knew that what he had done was wrong, pleaded guilty, said, hey, I know I fucked up, and I fully admit that what I did was wrong, and I want to go to prison, and I want to face the punishment for it. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that he does have some semblance of understanding. He may not fully understand, but he is cognizant enough to face, like, a trial or something like that. So,
yeah. Well, good luck to you, boss.
Yeah, good luck, Daniel, in prison, I guess. Yeah.
Maybe we could get his number and we could call him and he'll be our next guest.
No. God,
can't turn down this good publicity, dude.
I can. I don't want to talk to that motherfucker. Oh God, I've heard the phone. For those of you who are interested, you can go out and hear the phone calls for yourself. They're kind of fucking hard to listen to, man. It's a lot of him just rambling. I think also too, it doesn't help that the guy who's calling is also kind of a crazy person, and has said some very questionable shit. But it you know, it's always kind of the case. It's like the people following the crazies end up being crazy themselves.
The people who care enough to call the crazy guy in prison.
Yeah, you got to be crazy enough to call the crazy guy. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if that was a good note to end on.
It was. That was good. We had fun in the. Oh, I forgot the jingle I made last week. Do do do. Lol cow corner.
That works. Oh shit. Yeah, that was your lol cow corner for the day. Like I said, a lot of this is just more like a brief overview rather than like an in-depth. If you want in-depth content, there's so much of it out there. Trust me, I've watched shitloads of it. Probably gonna go watch some later today, because it's what I do. I like hearing about these weird kind of goofy people.
But what if instead of looking at sad locales, we wrap this thing up here and we go fight for democracy?
I'm down for that. I'm down to go fight for democracy. Let's go fight for Super Earth. I'm ready to. I keep wanting to call them Tyranids because that's what they're called in 40K, but it's Terminids. Yeah. Terminids are the bugs. I love fighting bugs. Oh yeah,
I haven't even fought the robots yet.
That would actually be fun to have, like, a first session of you fighting. Maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe I'll do a little extra time, and I'll we'll fight the robots for the first time. Sounds for fun. You. Yeah. Hell yeah. Oh God, it'll be a nightmare, but it'll be fun. All right. Well, I know that we would love to be here for fucking hours and hours and hours. I think we say that every time, but you know, we're not gonna. We're gonna go fight for democracy. We're gonna go fuck off and fight for democracy, and free Super Earth from all that threatens it. Yeah, and I think, yeah, that was time well meant. I have been dialed in to this drama.
Haktua.